Welcome back to Warehousing Operations as a Career. How has your week been? Productive, challenging, informative, positive, and safe is going to be my answer. And I hope each of you feel the same way. However, I've read about and spoken with a few people that, I'm going to say haven't had such a positive experience this week. I've heard from or read about struggles with or opinions about staffing agencies from present associates or people seeking employment and an agency salesperson on what they heard from a prospective client. And to be quite honest, I'm scratching my head a little bit. I came to the conclusion that maybe these individuals are looking at only the top layer of the staffing organizations out there. So today, I thought we'd peel back several more layers and see what's underneath the skin. I'm Marty, and I'll share a bit on staffing agencies today, or at least a few of my own opinions as they relate to our light industrial positions and how they're used in our industry. Now, whether you're working in a warehouse or a production line, maybe a manufacturing facility or in a distribution center, there's a good chance you've encountered staffing agencies, either as a worker or maybe a manager. But where did these agencies come from, and how have they evolved over the many years? Well, let's start by exploring the origins of staffing agencies in our light industrial field and how they've grown into an integral part of the industry, and discuss the pros and cons of seeking work through them. Staffing agencies, sometimes referred to as employment agencies, have been around for over 100 years, but their real growth took off in the mid-20th century, meaning sometime between the 1940s and the 1960s. Their primary function has always been to connect employers with temporary workers, filling those immediate labor needs. In the light industrial sectors like warehousing, manufacturing, and distribution, the demand for temporary labor has long been tied to economic shifts, those seasonal demands, and fluctuations in production and shipping volumes. The earliest staffing agencies were quite different from what we know today. Many of the first agencies, which appeared in the late 1800s and early 1900s, were focused on clerical, domestic, and agricultural labor. However, with the rise of industrialization, new opportunities were created, particularly in manufacturing and warehousing, where large numbers of workers were needed for the assembly lines, packaging, and the shipping task. Now, around the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, the temporary staffing industry started gaining momentum. Agencies began specializing in light industrial labor, offering a flexible workforce that could be scaled up or down depending on the needs of the employer. This was especially critical for companies in industries with fluctuating demand, like the retail or manufacturing segments, where peak seasons required a sudden influx of labor. And then fast forward to today, and agencies have become a fixture in the light industrial sectors. In warehousing, manufacturing, production, and distribution, they are essential partners to employers. Staffing agencies help fill positions like forklift operators, pickers, packers, assemblers, and general laborers. From small operations to large distribution centers, companies rely on these agencies to provide a flexible and cost-effective workforce. Today's staffing agencies often provide much more than just temporary workers. They handle background checks, drug screenings, and onboarding processes. Many agencies even offer training to ensure their workers are prepared for the specific tasks required in various roles. They may also provide workers with the chance to gain valuable experience in different industries, which can be especially helpful for someone just entering the workforce or wanting to change careers. In the context of light industrial work, staffing agencies are particularly valuable because they help companies navigate those unpredictable labor needs. Many warehouses or manufacturing plants experience sudden surges in production, whether due to seasonal spikes, new contracts, or urgent shipments. Instead of maintaining a large full-time staff that may not be needed year-round, companies can rely on staffing agencies to supply labor when demand is high. For job seekers, especially those in the light industrial sectors, I feel staffing agencies can provide several benefits to us. I think we need to look at it as access to immediate employment. One of the biggest draws of staffing agencies is their ability to place people in jobs quickly. In some cases, you can be working the very next day after signing up with an agency. This is especially helpful for people who need to start earning immediately. And many times they offer a variety of opportunities for us. Staffing agencies often have relationships with multiple employers, which means they can offer a variety of positions to us. And for someone who's unsure about which sector they want to work in, whether it's warehousing, manufacturing, or production, agencies can provide the chance to try different roles. Agency salespeople offer the try it before you buy it thought to their customers. Well, I think we as employees can also try the company or industry on before we commit to it as well. Here's another big pro for working with agencies. Temporary work can be an ideal situation for people who need flexibility. Whether you're looking for part-time work, temporary assignments, or a full-time position with the possibility of being hired permanently, staffing agencies often offer a wide range of options to us. Many staffing agencies provide what's known as temp-to-hire opportunities. This means that if you perform well during your temporary assignment, you could be offered a permanent position on with the company. In fact, like I alluded to a couple of minutes ago, many companies use staffing agencies as a way to try out workers before offering them a full-time role. I think another big advantage to working with different companies through a staffing agency can help us job seekers build a wide range of skills and contacts. This can be really valuable for anyone looking to gain experience or break into a new field. While staffing agencies offer many benefits for us, there are also some downsides to consider. Nothing's all roses, right? The first one being lack of job security. One of the most significant drawbacks is the temporary nature of this work. While some assignments may last months, others might only be for a few days or a couple of weeks. This lack of stability can kind of make it challenging to plan for the future or even feel secure in our employment. And that may not be a bad thing if that's what we want, I guess. While full-time employees typically will or could receive benefits like health insurance, paid time off, and retirement plans, temporary workers often do not. Now, some staffing agencies will offer limited benefits, but they usually aren't as comprehensive as those provided by direct employers, and their costs could be supported 100% by us, the employee. And in many cases, temporary workers are paid less than permanent employees that's doing the same job. However, for some of us, the opportunity to gain experience or find immediate work could outweigh that lower pay. I think the lower pay is part of that try before I buy thought process, and as employers, it's important to factor in the markup percentage they'll be paying on top of wages, all of which covers the loss potential, cost of the peripheral expenses, admin costs, taxes, and things like that. All of that could be its own episode, actually. Where was I before that rabbit hole popped up? Let's see. Oh, and unpredictable schedules also. Since many light industrial roles are tied to fluctuating production and shipping schedules, temporary workers may find themselves with inconsistent hours. One week you might work full-time hours, while the next you could only be called in for a few days. And this is pretty common if your assignment is with a 3PL facility. And there may be limited career growth for us within the assignment. And while staffing agencies can provide valuable experience to and for us, there's often little room for advancement within the agency itself. To move up in your career, you may need to seek permanent positions or specialized roles outside the temporary staffing system. With all that being said, staffing agencies have become an essential part of the light industrial sectors, from warehousing to manufacturing and distribution. For employers, they offer a flexible, cost-effective way to meet those fluctuating labor demands. For us workers, they provide quick access to employment and the opportunity to gain experience in various industries. However, like anything else, there are pros and cons. While staffing agencies can open doors, especially for temporary or entry-level roles, as job seekers we must be aware of the challenges, such as lack of benefits and job security, and what they can actually provide. And it's important for us to remember that they are under contract with their customers, that pay rates, hiring qualifications, experience requirements are given to them by that customer. The agencies have very little flexibility in many cases. As the industry continues to evolve, staffing agencies will undoubtedly remain a key player in connecting us workers with employers and vice versa in the fast-paced world of light industrial operations. Well, I want to thank you for joining me on Warehouse and Operations as a Career, the podcast today, and I hope we have helped to better explain staffing to you. If you've ever worked with a staffing agency or have any stories about your experience, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach out on social media using that little @ WHSEOPS on our Facebook and X pages or our Instagram at WAOC Podcast. And let's keep the conversation going. And we love getting email as well. You can contact us at host@warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay focused, and keep moving forward.